remember that. So,
Okay. All right.
yeah, we'll get you some, Tim. I'm going to get you a bag and send it up there for sure.
Nice.
I would send one to A-Fan, but he's going to get that barbecue seasoning all in the mustache. It ain't going to work, man. I'm just telling you now. So, all right, let's jump into it, Tim. I'm excited about this just to kind of get our first look as we are 7 days away from quarterback reporting to camp. Let's go and dive right in to how ESPN sees the league currently. This is their NFL Football Power Index, all right? And just to kind of give you guys an idea of what this is, the Football Power Index, FPI, is a measure of team strength that is meant to be the best predictor of a team's performance going forward for the rest of the season. FPI represents how many points above or below average a team is. Projected results are based on 10,000 simulations of the rest of the season using FPI results to date and the remaining schedule. Ratings and projections update daily. So obviously we're going in, everybody's sitting at 0-0. So we're kind of getting the preseason Football Power Index. There's that spiciness right there hitting home. So let's dive into it, man.
Not that Kansas City barbecue like AFAM likes, right? It's a little different barbecue.
That stuff's illegal in 6 states, last I heard. So I don't know about that. Starting off the top of the list here, Tim, no surprise, Philadelphia Eagles at number 1. We got the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. Here we go. Kansas City Chiefs at 2, Baltimore Ravens 3, Buffalo Bills 4, Detroit Lions 5, Washington Commanders 6, Cincinnati Bengals 7, your Green Bay Packers in the number 8 spot, the LA Chargers 9, and the LA Rams 10. You know, the thing that catches me off guard a little bit, Tim, just on the surface here, the Chargers being 9th is a little like, ooh, didn't really expect that. Maybe I'm sleeping on them a little bit, man. How do you feel about how the top 10 shakes out here in terms of ESPN's Football Power Index?
That's kind of how I felt about Cincinnati. I mean, no disrespect to Joey B and the boys, but I thought maybe the Packers could have locked that spot up. I thought maybe we'd flip with the Bengals in the top 10. And yeah, the Chargers creeping up there, that's a little bit of a shocker, but I don't think it's super crazy. And again, this is like the aggregate going into this year, right? We're basing this off of how last season ended, kind of what we're looking at going into 2025 right now. It is a little surprising to see the Chargers up there. Kind of surprising to see San Francisco teetering around just outside the top 10 as well. So a couple surprises there.
Yeah, and it kind of shows you that I think the way they're seeing San Francisco, Tim, is injuries is what got them last year. And listen, I partially agree. I do. Shanahan's a great coach. Brock Purdy's a great quarterback. If they stay healthy, you got Fred Warner and Nick Bosa on the defensive side of the ball. You got Christian McCaffrey, once again, if he stays healthy, one of the better running backs in the game, right? So George Kittle, arguably the best tight end in the game now that Kelsey's kind of starting to taper off a little bit. So I get it. I can see why they're hovering around up there, but at the same time, I'm not going to be surprised if they fall flat on their face as well. So, yeah, again, that's kind of the big thing that sticks out to me. And the fact that the Packers are 8th, Tim, how do you feel about Green Bay being at 8? Do you feel like that's too high, too low, right in the sweet spot? I feel like it's about where I would expect them. I mean, that's, as someone said here in the chat, Deadfish says, we are 4th in the NFC, don't like being behind Washington, but we will take care of that week 2. It's a great point. Now, what a week 2 matchup that's going to be. According to ESPN, the number 6 team and the number 8 team in the entire league. And arguably, I guess that would be team 3 and 4 in the NFC. It's going to be a hell of a matchup. What do you think about Green Bay at 8, Tim?
Yeah, I think it's pretty damn accurate. I'd like us to be higher, but I think it's fair. Like I said, maybe at best you could argue we would flip-flop with Cincinnati. But bottom line, fourth team in the NFC. Certainly only 2 teams in our division, even in the conversation. So, we're not talking about the Bears or the Vikings. So I feel good about how this looks. And I think, as we go through the first quarter or even the first half of the season, you might see these rankings slide a little bit, and maybe we can creep up the list a little more.
Yeah, for sure. And Deadfish goes on to say, I don't like being behind Detroit either, but we will take care of that week 1. How about that, man? We're playing 2 of the top 3 NFC teams week 1 and week 2. I heard a lot of talk about that early in the season or early in the offseason, Tim, when the schedule was released. And I think we've got the schedule here. Bang, we'll throw that up there real quick. So, yeah, people were like, man, that's brutal at the beginning of the season. If you start 0-2, you're in trouble. I don't think so. I mean,
No.
statistically speaking, I'm sure that everyone, if you do start the season 0-2, they're going to be talking about, well, the last time a team that was 0-2 went to the playoffs, it's so rare. But you're talking about two of the top three NFC teams. If you lose to both of those, and listen, I'm not saying they're going to lose to both of them. I'm not saying that we're going to win both those games. I'm simply saying it's not the end of the world if you lose to one or to two of the top three teams in the NFC, with you being the fourth. Because the chances are you're going to go on a pretty good run the rest of the season and still have a good shot at making the playoffs if you stay healthy. Now, with that being said, I think there's a decent chance that we split one of those two games. Whether we beat Detroit there week 1, 4:25 kickoff on Sunday, or off a short week, we beat Washington on Thursday Night Football there on Amazon Prime at 8:15 kickoff. I think that's Eastern time. So if I had to pick, though, Tim, I like our chances beating Detroit week 1 rather than Washington on a short week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. I'm comfortable saying that we're 4-0 going into the bye, like I've said for the last few weeks. Overly confident, as I always am, and I think this is the year that maybe we don't split with Detroit. Maybe we tilt the tables and finally beat them twice. Division records doesn't seem to be, I don't want to say not as important, but it just seems like, like you said, when it comes in terms of playoff seeding, nowadays you can split the series with your division rivals most of the time. And if you stack up the right wins and don't dump too many games, you can still get in the playoffs. So it's not as vital, but for bragging rights, for my own Packer fandom pride, I'm really, really pulling for us to just beat Detroit twice this year. I'd love to see it.
Oh my God. Could you imagine the fans? It would be absolute meltdown, because all they've had to stand on last year was the fact that they beat us both games. It's all I've heard from Detroit fans, right?
Yep.
And then, of course, it's like they come back down to earth when they get in the playoffs and get their butts kicked, like it happens, pretty much every year they make the playoffs. Chris the Casual Win says Amon-Ra St. Brown is a problem. He, what's crazy too, Chris? What was he, a 4th-round pick? He was either 3rd or a 4th-round pick. He was
we grabbed the wrong St. Brown.
Yes, we did. He was one of those guys. He didn't have the measurables, right? He didn't have the traits. But again, he's a high volume receiver, right? He does a good job. He just kind of got that little knack of getting open and obviously, controlling the ball at the catch point. So I'm with you, man. Amon-Ra St. Brown. You got to give respect where respect's due, for sure. Respect Orange it's not a bad spot after the okay season they had. I agree with that. You come off of last year, we won 11 games. You come out and start the next season, you say you're the 4th best in the NFC and obviously the 8th best team in the league. I don't have a problem with it either, man. Soder says Rams and Seahawks will give the 49ers a run. Yeah, the Rams are going to be very interesting, especially adding Devontae Adams, to that mix. You got Puka Nacua on one side, Devontae on the other. Matt Stafford still spinning that rock. And they got Kyron Williams, another really good running back. You got Sean McVay. He's going to have that team competing, Tim. There's no doubt in my mind.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Look for them to I think push ahead pretty early in the NFC West for sure.
Yeah, the Seahawks are going to be interesting too, but I think I have a little more faith in the Rams, just because we're going to see if Sam Darnold did actually figure it out or if it was all KOC, right? And I think the big measuring stick for that question and determine the accurate answer all year long is going to be, how does J.J. McCarthy look in Minnesota with KOC, and how does Sam Darnold look in Seattle, right? So that's going to be very, very interesting. But yeah, I hear you, Soder. Ed Madden says 8th, not bad for the start of the season. Feel like we're going to move up a lot by season's end.
Yep,
I agree, man. I think we're a team that you're 1 year older in a good way. Most time you say that and you go, oh man, is the window closing? But for the Packers, it's 1 year older is a good thing, right? And then of course you add a little bit of veteran help with Nate Hobbs, a young veteran, which is a good thing too.
Aaron Banks too, as well, on the offensive line.
Young veteran, and then of course Mecole Hardman, young veteran. I think all of them are right around 26 or 27 years old. So they got some NFL experience. They're all three. 2 of the 3 definitely starters. We'll see what happens with Mecole. I wouldn't be surprised if he burst onto the scene. If he has a solid camp and he solidifies his 53-man roster spot, there's a chance that LaFleur says, you know what, let's put him on the field every play, or starter reps anyway. But we'll see. Let's see what else in the chat here. Holmes MD1 says these guys better start the season with their piss hot. That's for sure.
Yeah, our guys better wake up with their piss hot, like I said before. So.
Respect Orange that says Jair revenge game at the end of the season. It is a revenge game. I'm excited about us getting revenge on Jair. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I see it. I don't see it the other way around. And you know what? Jair is kind of one of those players that when he gets in his own head, that's when he's at his worst. When he's worried about talking trash, when he's worried about I want to cover the number one and all that stuff, let him try to put it on his shoulders. Let him try to pretend like this game is about me, and let's cook him deep. That's the way I see that. So
I would be pleasantly surprised if he was playing football at week 17 of the season.
There you go.
The rate we've been going lately. So hopefully we do see him back at Lambeau at the end of the year.
Yeah, I do not want him to get hurt. I know there's some fans that are like, yeah, if he goes out and gets banged up, they're going to be like, told you so. I want him to be healthy, and I want Matthew Golden to absolutely cook him. That's what I want. And that's nothing against Jair. I don't have any ill will toward Jair. You guys know for $6 million, I wanted him back with the Packers. But he ain't wearing that green and gold anymore, Tim. He's fair game. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Hey, like I said it on X. I had a post. I said, I wish you nothing but the best, except for that week 17 matchup back at Lambeau Field, you know?
Yeah. Let's see here. H.E. Solder says, beat the Lions week 1 and Washington in week 2. Bust the damn rankings. That's what I'm talking about. Come out there. It's us against the world. Ed Madden says, with Seattle's O-line, I think Darnold will be seeing a lot of ghosts. Have you ever seen that clip, Tim, from NFL Films where he played the Patriots? They were playing the Patriots, and I can't remember, he threw like his second or third interception of the game, and they had him mocked up, and on the sideline he went, I'm seeing ghosts out there.
Yeah.
Like, God, it's the coolest sound.
Yeah.
And what he meant by that, for those of you who don't know, when a quarterback talks about seeing ghosts, you probably heard Mike Holmgren say it to Brett Favre back in the 90s. He said, hey, don't go seeing any ghosts out there. It means don't outthink yourself and don't buy into the pre-snap sugar and think, okay, I know what the film study has showed us all week. I know what their tendencies are. I know where our matchups are. I know how our game plan is geared around attacking those tendencies, attacking those matchups. But they're showing this look right now. I'm going here. And next thing you know, it wasn't the look you thought you saw. You throw a pick, and it's a fire zone blitz or whatever it may be, and that's what they call seeing ghosts. You've seen something that actually wasn't there. I love that line. Let's see what else we got here in the chat. Deadfish says, to me, the Eagles are the big competition in the NFC. Big game on November 10th. Let's make them come to Lambeau Field. I love it, too, because that's going to – first of all, weeks 1 and 2, Tim, another thing, this is going to be a measuring stick for the Packers.
Oh, yeah. We said that when schedule release happened. We said, hey, we're going to find out real quick who this team is.
Yep.
Real quick this year.
Yep. So you get that week 1, week 2 kind of gauge, and we're either going to be going, all right, boys, we got a shot this year, or you may be going, all right, let's step back, readjust, and get ready to make up some ground if you did start off slow. But like Deadfish says, though, you get the November 10, man, it's game on. You're going up to reigning, defending Super Bowl champs. Now let's see how we adjusted halfway through the year and what we could put together. I love it, man. Steve in the chat says, I want to see Golden or Watson burn Alexander deep for a touchdown. That's exactly how I feel, my man. Exactly how I feel. So let's go on down the line here a little bit, Tim. Let's round it out between 10 and 20. 10 is the LA Rams. 11 is the Broncos. 12 is the Niners. 13, the Texans. Buccaneers are 14. Vikings are 15. Bears are 16. Cowboys 17. Steelers 18. Dolphins 19. Cardinals 20. The big thing that sticks out to me here is the Minnesota Vikings at 15. Because there's some people that still think they're going to finish ahead of the Packers in the North. I just do not see it with a first-year starting quarterback. So them around the 15 spot, I'm starting to build a little confidence in this ESPN Power Index, man, because I've seen a lot of people that seem to think that Minnesota is not going to skip a beat with J.J. McCarthy being the quarterback, and I just could not disagree more. So the Vikings at 15. How cool is it, too? The Bears are right on the Vikings' heels. I bet Minnesota fans love that, don't they?
It's crazy. Hey, let Poles cook, right? You know, they signed that big extension, right? And I think you're right. I think, I mean, it wouldn't be insane if, you know, JJ McCarthy went out and balled out, I guess, you know, but there's just not a lot of precedence for a first year starter to just come in and just crush it like that. But then again, KOC, you know, they've got a legit legit scheme and a legit coach. So if you are a first-year starter, that's a pretty good opportunity for you to find success, much like Jordan did here with Matt LaFleur as a first-year starter. So I don't think it's fair to absolutely write off Minnesota. But I'm with you, Clayton. They got to prove it. I don't think you can just live off of reputation.
Yeah. Dead Fish pointing out the elephant in the room here. The Bears are ahead of the Cowboys and the Steelers. You got to be kidding me. That's where they got them. You're right, man. They get the Bears at 16, the Cowboys 17, the Steelers at 18, even the Dolphins at 19, Cardinals at 20. What do you think about?
Get ready to go.
The Bears being above the Cowboys and the Steelers? Because we know, listen, Aaron going to take that personal. He's never going to let the Bears finish in front of him.
That's like looking at 3 trash cans and telling me which one do I think looks better. I mean, whatever. Shake them all up, rank them wherever. I mean, I'm laughing at Jerry World right now too, just like anyone else. But yeah, it is interesting to see the Bears this high up on the list because, I mean, you could make an argument that Seattle should be higher up on the list than Chicago for sure.
Definitely. All right, let's get into the bottom dwellers here. 21, the Seahawks. 22, the Jaguars. 23, I need a Duval, Tim. Just whenever you get a chance, you cut me off with it. I need Duval in my life. Jaguars at 22. Woo, that's ugly, man. Got the Colts at 23.
Duval.
We got the Colts at 23. We got the Raiders at 24. The Patriots at 25. Falcons 26. I kind of feel like the Falcons should be a little higher. Am I wrong there, Tim? I don't know, man.
See, that's another one. Like, yeah, I don't understand. I could see them up a few more spots. I mean, certainly even ahead of maybe a team like Vegas, Vegas or even Indy.
Definitely. Then you got the, like I said, Falcons 26, Giants 27, Panthers 28, Jets 29. They're, boy, oh boy. Remember 2 years ago when everybody was like, this is the year the Jets turn it around. Aaron coming to town. Boy, they did kind of get, they raised from like around this spot, in my opinion, up to about 20th,
Sure.
And now they're right back in the basement again.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible. And then, of course, you got the Browns at 30, Titans at 31, and then the New Orleans Saints.
Dude, the Browns get everything they deserve. They belong down there for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So there you go, guys. That is, according to the FPI ranking, again, that is on ESPN, the Football Power Index. All right. And you can listen. You can sort it by offense if you want to. I think it'll sort. Here we go. So these are the top offenses according to their Football Power Index. The Buffalo Bills 1, Ravens 2, Lions 3, Chiefs 4, Eagles 5, Commanders 6, Bengals 7, 49ers 8, Green Bay Packers are 9th, right behind the 49ers, okay? And then you got the Rams behind them, the Chargers, so on and so forth. So the Eagles drop from number 1 down to 5th there. The Bills go to number 1, Baltimore number 2 when it comes to the offense. Detroit still showing a top offense. The question is, will they skip a beat without their boy get ready to go? You know what I'm saying? So what do you think about those top 5 offensive rankings there and where the Packers sit at number 9?
Yeah, I think it's pretty accurate. I don't know. I might have had the Packers up a little higher, but again, looking at how last year was, with Jordan dealing with the injury issues off and on, and we had a couple of stagnant points in the season as an offense, but I'd put the Packers offense above San Francisco's right now. I mean, if we're talking just heading into the season, I'd put us up there, yeah, right in that same kind of realm as Washington, Cincinnati range. So I think it's a little low for us, but I'm happy. Hey, top 10 again. We'll take it.
Yes, sir. Let's go to defense now. And I think we will sort. Yeah, we should be sorting. The high number is the more valuable number here as opposed to most defensive rankings. Less is more. Philadelphia Eagles 1, Vikings 2, Chiefs 3, Ravens 4, Bears 5, Texans 6, Broncos 7, Steelers 8, Chargers 9. The Packers land in the number 10 spot, actually tied for 9th with the Chargers. So they are saying legit top 10 defense, which we've talked about. And, of course, you put them in the top 5 in run defense, definitely top 10 in pass defense. So, overall, they got them right around 10th.
Got us ranked higher than Detroit, baby. I'll take it.
See, what North teams are ahead of us in defense? the Vikings, the Bears, right? And the Lions are just below us. But when you look at the offensive difference there, I know those Bears fans like to pretend that Caleb Williams truly is generational, but my goodness, a minus 1.0 on offense, but a positive 1.2 on defense. The Vikings, a minus 0.9, which is right ahead of the Bears on offense, and they're sitting at a 1.8 on defense. So it's going to be interesting to see how the defense shakes out as well. But and then special teams, if we were to sort it real quick, Chargers, Steelers, Bucks, Cowboys, Bears are the top 5. Dolphins, Jaguars, Chiefs, Lions, Seahawks. I think that rounds out the 10. So it looks like we're somewhere around the 15 spot.
We'll take it.
Yeah. And again, not going to lose you a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we talked about this when we were at the bottom barrel. We were like 28th, 29th in special teams a few years back. And we talked about days like this. If we could just not be a dumpster fire, just be somewhere in that top half of the league, middle ground, and not be a liability on special teams. And I think, adding, guys like Danny Whelan and, bringing Brandon McManus in to help us with the kicking game. I think we've got some really, really good, talented young players that are going to change the way our return game looks, I think, this year. So special teams being in the middle ground for us going into the season, I'll take it. I think they may even be able to crack into that, top 10, top 12 range if we continue to improve.
Yeah. Greg Rice says the Bears are always great before games are played. And also 2-0 for this. Happy Ryan Poles extension day. If you guys didn't see it, he got a contract extension. My man has a winning percentage as a general manager of under 300 and somehow got an extension. Hey,
Caleb gave him an extra Sunday in a McFlurry today at work. He celebrated.
Which, by the way, man, let's talk McFlurry for a second. McDonald's sponsored the show. So I used to go Oreo McFlurry forever, right? And I switched it up and went M&M.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to be honest, man. I think I like M&M better than Oreo. Maybe I'm just
they got to do it right, though. They got to make sure those M&Ms are crushed up enough. Otherwise, you're just getting whole chunks in there, right?
So I said, let's get the best of both worlds. So I went through the drive-thru one night and said, hey, I'm willing to pay extra. Can I get both Oreo and M&M in the McFlurry? They said, I got you, fam. Tim, I did it. Never been more disappointed in my life, man. Sometimes sometimes you just got to let things stay the way they are. You know what I mean? You can try too hard for sure. So,
I love it.
Yeah. So when it comes to the Bears, I see some conversation here in the chat. Let's see here. Greg Rice says the Bears are always great there, blah, blah, blah. Holmes says, what am I missing? The Bears defense sucked worse than this chat. Shaking my head. I'm getting the strap. And then Ed Madden says Bears are too high. Did Adam Rank do this? So, on the surface, I kind of agree, but let's go to some of the advanced metrics. When we talk about EPA per drop back in terms of pass defense, where did the Bears land? So they landed at a 0.02, which, Tim, if I do the quick math, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? That would make them tied for 7th in EPA per drop back. So I think this is probably pretty close, guys. That's just in terms of pass defense. I can't remember what they were run defense. I could probably pull that up real quick. Tim, what do you think? Do you feel like the Bears defense is getting too much love here? Or do you think it's just us Packer fans wanting them to suck worse than maybe they actually do? I'm going to pull up, not put it on the screen, but I'm going to try to grab the passing or the rush defense real quick and see exactly how they fared there in terms of yards per attempt.
I mean, it's tough. I don't keep myself super plugged into, Bears Twitter and, the news feeds of what's happening down there in good old Chi-Town. But I think looking back at last year, clearly the issue with their football team was the offensive side of the ball. Defense was probably the one good thing they had going for them. And so as much as it pains me to say, is I think it's fair to see where they're ranked right now. Again, this is going into the season. Everything changes when we line them up and snap the ball week 1, right? And like you always say, and it's a great point, is you really got to look at that season as a whole. You break it into 4 quarters. You want to try and win, your first cluster of games, second cluster of games, get through your bye week, get through the midpoint of the season and close out strong. So the Bears, we can laugh at Caleb Williams all we want. We talk about, offensive line issues. We talk about quarterback issues, these kind of things. But the defense is always, at least the last handful of seasons, has been, at bare bones minimum, at least halfway decent.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing the Bears getting out and out boat raced last year. I mean, they probably struggled to put points on the board, but I don't think they were giving up insane amounts of points or anything. So.
Yeah. And so I think it was Holmes that asked that. Maybe there was several people that disagree with the Bears being that high. When you look at the EPA per dropback, you think, that's probably about right. But when I jumped over to yards per rush attempt, I didn't realize they were this bad, Tim. They were 27th. 27th at 4.8 yards a clip is what they were giving up on the ground. So if you take 27th and around 7th or 8th, I think they were too kind to them on this list right here in terms of putting them with the football power index around, what is that?
5.
The 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Top 5 defense.
Yeah.
So
when you put it like that, you're right.
Yeah. Because, some people like that. Well, it's a passing game, right? It's a passing league. Yeah, that's true. But until you can't stop the run, and we've been there. Luckily, last year, we finally made it out of the wilderness, right? So There's nothing more frustrating than just watching a team run the ball down your freaking throat constantly and not being able to do anything about it. So anything else you want to look at on this list, or any final comments on this football power index by ESPN?
I think overall, when you look at all these rankings, the index, bottom line, man, it seems like the mainstream likes to throw a lot of shade at Green Bay, but if you look at the tail of the tape, man, we're in the conversation, top 10 across the board, period. I don't care who you are, what you think. And it's just a matter of time. We're, what are we, 10 days away from camp, something like that? I mean, football is going to be here before you know it. And, it's going to be time to go out there and, walk the walk. But I think it's good. I feel good going into this season. I really do. I mean, I'm a Packer fan for life. I feel good going into every year. I survived the 80s. I'll be fine right now, right? So we'll take top 10 going into the start of the season. I love it.
Yeah, definitely, man. All right. So again, there you go. There is your football power index according to ESPN. What I'm coming away with, guys, Green Bay's a top 10 team. They're the 4th best team in the NFC. Like Tim said, before any games are played, kind of feels like they're in that range. Hey, to me, that's better than where we were going into the season last year. And it's way better than it was going into the year or going into the season for the 2023 season. So you're seeing this team is ascending, right? Yep. And again, going into last year, I said 10 to 13 wins. They won 11. This year, I said 11 to 14 wins is kind of what I'm seeing. I feel like 11's the basement, barring any crazy, just injury bug that hits the Packers. So wouldn't be surprised if they won 12 or 13 games this year, Tim. How cool would it be if Matt LaFleur got his 13th win? What would that be now? That would be his 4th time doing that, I believe. I think he did it 3 years in a row with Aaron.
Yeah, his first, I believe 2 or 3 seasons was 13 wins.